Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. On Saturday, I attended the Philly show for the first time ever. I went there on the Saturday. Wade Boggs was signing, so it gave me a perfect opportunity to go visit that show for the first time. I heard some good things about the Philly show, particularly that they have a lot of vintage there, which is right down my alley. When I got there around 11 o'clock, stayed there till about 4. In general, I liked the amount of vintage that was there. I would say maybe probably at least 60-40 vintage versus modern. There was probably more ungraded vintage, and I don't want, maybe not an even split between SGC and PSA, but it was probably pretty close. So again, with me only collecting PSA slabs, of the total amount of vintage there was still a good amount of PSA vintage for me to look through. Unfortunately, if I wanted to buy some of those cards, I would have needed to bring more money to the show. But actually, I had to pull out from my national budget some money to go to this show. So I didn't want to take too much out of my national budget for this. But I had a decent budget to work with and picked up 3 nice cards. Now, in regards to pricing, it was across the board, I think, very similar to what I saw at the National. You had some dealers there that had their stuff reasonably priced and were still willing to work with you. There were others, though, that, again, continued to have their prices seemingly at where they were maybe 2 years ago. One table had all the Topps and Bowman graded cards in their cases 40% off. We think, wow, that's a pretty good deal. But once you do the calculation, that 40% off just puts the card within the range of comps. So what they're originally asking for, it makes it sound like a really good deal, but their base price is way above what the general comps are, for at least for the cards that I possibly thought of purchasing. And so that one's a little bit deceiving where, okay, hey, you got this great deal, 40% off. Now, you may have been able to negotiate a little bit from that, but still, that only got you to a more current reasonable price, that 40% off. So I don't want to say it was a gimmick, but anyway. But the far extreme was I saw a 1965 Topps Joe Morgan rookie card in a pretty nice PSA 5. Now, on the high end for a PSA 5, one of them went for $195. The average for a PSA 5 is right around $110. Of course, he didn't have a price listed on the front of the card, so I asked to see it and what he was asking for it, and I flipped it over, and his asking price was $295. But he said he'd work with me a little bit on that. Well, there was no way a little bit was going to work, so I quickly thanked him and moved on. So you still have some of those dealers that just, I don't know, still have some of their cards at what I feel is too high of a price, and I moved on. But again, I found those that were willing to work with me, and overall I had a great show. So I have some stuff to show off here that I got signed and the vintage cards that I picked up. And I'm going to end the video with a video clip of me having Wade Boggs sign some items I brought. I brought a couple extra items, and he was kind enough to sign them as well for me, and then finish the video up with some scenes of the show. Now, I want to make a specific note that I took those video shots of the show right before I left. So we're talking about 4 o'clock on a Saturday. So I don't want you to get the wrong impression that, boy, it doesn't look like there's a big crowd there on a Saturday. Like I said, from 11 o'clock when I got there to about 3, the crowds were pretty good. Now, a majority of that, I think, were there for the signings. But as people arrived early and afterward, they, walked around the tables. I'm not sure how much buying took place, but the crowd was there. It may just not be reflected on the video clips I took. And lastly, I met up with a couple of YouTubers. First off, before the YouTubers, I bumped into a high school classmate of mine, Troy. He actually graduated a year ahead of me, but he's into baseball cards, and he spotted me, and he actually was the one who took the video of Wade signing my items. Unfortunately, he was not with me for my photo op, and I asked a stranger to take a video of me having the photo op with Wade. I told him to press the record button. He thought I already pressed the record button, and I didn't end up getting video of that. And it was actually a really cool interaction with Wade when I met him first for the photo op, but unfortunately I don't have a video for that. So beyond meeting up with my friend, I met Brian B. Roth, and met Andrew, Nuff Said Cards, and Ryan, Breakout Cards. Ryan, first time I met, I think the first time I met Andrew, and the first time I met Ryan, and Ryan and I actually walked around the show for probably about a half hour. Really nice guy, Ryan. If you're watching this, hey, thanks for hanging out a little bit. I had a really good time. And then right as I was leaving, I was looking at a case and happened to look over, and there was Chris, baseball card investor, collector, dealer, in that order. I wasn't aware that he was stateside. He lives over in the Netherlands, but he was there. And again, we talked briefly for a few moments. I know he had some things that he wanted to look at before the show ended. But yeah, so I met some YouTubers, met Wade Boggs, picked up some vintage cards. So all in all, I had a great show. So yeah, let me turn the camera around here, and let's start showing off some of the stuff that I got. All right, we'll start off with some of the items that I got signed. This one actually was the photo op from this year's National. I wasn't able to pick up the photo in time for when Wade was signing, and so I had to go back and have him sign it this time, but he did a personal signature or comment for me there. And then I was able to pick up this year's photo op before I got in line. And so there's that one there, John, all the best, Wade Boggs. And so that was this year's at the Philly show. So now I have a photo op of 7 of the 8 times that I have met Wade. This was number 8. And as usual, he was very gracious, very friendly. Had a great time meeting him. I also had a poster signed by him, but the material of the poster, it's really folded up, so it was hard for me to show it here. Plus, it's fairly large. And then I also took a picture. I had a wooden home plate done by Barnwood Sports, and I'll try to put a link to their website. This is the second such home plate. You see the first one in all my thumbnails with me holding it with Wade Boggs. That was the first one with all the inscriptions. This one I just had his autograph on it, so I'm just going to show a brief image here of what that looks like. I think it looks really cool with the silver ink that he used on the number 2. So I got that signed as well. So yeah, all in all, great meeting Wade again. So on to the vintage cards that I picked up. And I had mentioned, I'm trying to think which, I want to say it was for a video response for someone's channel, I think. Anyway, made a comment that I was going through some cards, and that one hole in my collection is that I did not have any Ernie Banks vintage playing day cards. Well, I corrected that at the National. So the first one I picked up here is the 1959 Topps in a PSA 3. Wasn't sure about dropping down to a 3, but that's only 2 grades down from a quote-unquote collector grade. But the centering got me. The corners are what makes it a 3. I looked all over. I did not see any. Let's see if I can get that focused here a little bit. There we go. I don't see really any creases. It's just, you can see there's a crunched corner at the top, and some wear along the, the side there. But overall, and okay, the back has a little bit of ink mark or whatever. But all in all, I mean, overall, it's pretty clean. It doesn't really take away, for me, the back of the card. So this was one of the 2 at one of the tables that I got. So I think they wanted $70 for this, and I offered $50, and he accepted. So I thought that was a good deal for that PSA 3. And I bought a second Ernie Banks from the same dealer. This is the 1967 version, or card there. There we go. In a PSA 5. Again, a little bit of corner wear, but I just love this image of Ernie Banks. I think this is personally one of his nicest cards. Just that smile, holding the bat like that. I don't know, the color of the Cubs, everything. And again, it's a really nice PSA 5. I'm very happy with that. Nice centering. They wanted $80 for that, and I offered $60, and they accepted. So again, got 2 good deals from that one seller. Basically accepted my offer there. It was very reasonable to work with. And then I still had a little bit of money left, but not a whole lot. So there wasn't a whole lot of selection, but then I came across this table right toward the end, and he had it listed for $90. I made an offer for $70, and in this case, we met in the middle at $80, but I think it's well worth it. The 1963 Topps Warren Spahn in a PSA 6. The only small little problem there in the border is that right there in that bottom left-hand corner. But other than that, that bottom border there is really nice and sharp, pretty well centered. I don't see any snowing. It's a really nice card. The back is nice as well. Check out all those 20-win seasons. Just amazing what Warren Spahn did in his career. So there you have it, my sort of recap on the Philly show. Had a great time meeting Wade Boggs, meeting up with some fellow YouTubers, a high school classmate, and also, while I didn't get to see him and talk to him, I think you'll see in one of the video clips, Mike O. I just happened to be looking through some of the video clips, and I just happened to spot him in, so you may see him for a couple seconds as I pan away in one of the scenes there. But Mike O, I believe, was there. So again, all in all, I had a great show. I'll definitely go back to another Philly show in the future. May have to bring a little bit more money with me. But again, all in all, it was a great show. So I'm going to end things there, and then again show the clip of Wade Boggs signing my items, and then some general video shots of the show. So until next time, thanks for watching.
I made it.
You made it.
I made it.
Boggs Trust.
Yes, you'll remember this, but I'm not going to have you sign 12 times on it. It's another one.
Whatever you want, John.
It's another one from
autograph tickets available at the merchandise booth. There's 25 autographs or inscriptions.
What's over?
That does not include photographs. Autographs or inscriptions. The price inside. We have 25 of them that just became available. They're available at the merchandise booth.
from Florida. He said he reached out to you to get these posters.
Oh, the guy with the old, the old dad,
Yeah, he sent me two.
Oh, good.
So I thought I'd get one signed for Richard for Christmas present.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Whatever you want to do.
I had it rolled up here. So
Whatever you want to do. He's one of the 10
I was a
collectors.
YouTube channel.
John, this is Warren Green. Warren Green.
So, somewhere, I guess somewhere around there.
Okay. Like right in there?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll keep one for myself.
Yep.
All right, what are we doing?
Inscription and a card.
What's the inscription?
Chicken Man.
Chicken Man.
Yes, please. I know, so do I.
Guys, all good?
There's racing signed autographs that you just announced. They are one per person. One per person of the 25 that we just announced and just opened up. They are available for donation of the series. One per person.
My pleasure, John.
And my videographer behind me, his name's Corey Fisher. He actually graduated from high school here.
Photographer.
So he is the card for these.
Just want to sign it or see you?
You can sign for me, sure. Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
That's awesome.
Bobby, Williams, Wade, Pedro, Roger, Ted.
That's Ted Yastrzemski.
That's Yaz?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Yaz.
That's the only one that's not there.
Racing signed
Everyone else
tickets, one through 100
that's the only one at all.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't have the same shirt on.
Everything's pretty good.
Jimmy Palmer, tickets one through
Not a good
100.
yet. That's not really good yet.
Yeah. So I guess he wants to, I don't know, somehow get you a copy of it or something. He said he's trying to reach out to you or something. I don't know. But yeah, he got it to me just in time from Florida for
Chicken
this
Man.
event.
Heck yeah.
Sharpie?
Blue Sharpie, please, yes. Please.
There you go, brother. Love you, man. Love you. Keep up the good work.
Yep.
You're the best.
Hey, I know
You guys
business.
carry the torch. Got it.
I'd love to get you just maybe to the
Kyle Schwarber, tickets one through
I'll get in touch with you. Maybe we can schedule
I
something.
can do that.
Good?
Yeah.